everyone. Jane here from Your Way Weight Loss. Hey, Leash.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi, girl. Hey.
What's happening?
Oh, just over here living my best life.
Are you?
Well, I've at this point forgotten what it feels like to leave my home.
Right. So as we're filming this, we still have the kids with us. So that's annoying. And you know what? Like there was a few things we'll be completely transparent. Like as we're recording this, we haven't started our project yet, but we're just like about 5 days out. And I was like, oh, let's go out to eat at Ted and Boar's. I'm like, it's freaking closed. Like, I'm like, oh, we did not pick the right moment to not be able to kind of not indulge, but kind of like, you know what I mean? Live that life.
Absolutely. Like it
Go
was
out.
like, yeah, have friends over. I mean, I can still have my friends over. I will.
Know. Yes, I know. We'll just eat Tim Hortons. It's going to be, that part's going to be interesting. Like weekends. Okay, so let's just dive into that because 3 days ago we announced our project to the world, and the response has been interesting. It's been, I'd say 99.9% positive. So we're pumped. Are you pumped after saying it out loud? Like, how do you feel about saying it out loud?
It's funny because you said you were nervous, and I'm like, why are you nervous? It didn't even cross my mind that people would be upset that we were doing this. It didn't even cross my mind that anyone would feel upset that we were doing this.
And I think that upset is a big word in terms of like, I don't think I saw someone upset. I think I've seen people confused.
I agree. And they're upset because they're confused about what our intention and our message is.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's quite funny because literally 99.9% of people are so excited. So let's just like say that out loud. And we're not having a full conversation about their, but we're talking about the like two people that are like, but why? And kind of like are upset, so it's very interesting. But I think it's important that we have this conversation because maybe people are feeling that way and not talking about it. And for us, it's important that you talk to us about it.
I think the reason why some people are upset is because they maybe just don't quite understand our message behind it.
And it's the confusion.
It's the confusion. So for sure, like wait and see and watch and all those things. But I'm excited based on the amount of interest. Like people are like curious, which is exactly what we wanted. People are having conversations with their spouses and it's sparking conversations, which is exactly what we wanted. So that part I'm really, really excited about.
I feel the same. And, I'm thinking about the people that are confused. And I'm like, it's like sometimes when we don't understand something, we're confused because our perception of it is confusing. And it's quite ironic how some people aren't confused at all. Like they're like, I understand why you're doing it. I can just imagine the great conversations that are going to come up about this. And wow, this is amazing. And then the next person can be confused because their thoughts don't bring them to the like, I understand, I have the language, their beliefs are different. And that's all part of the message. And so for us, it's been actually really fun. I have to say, it's been really fun seeing people talk about it and their perception of it. And we don't take anything personally, or we're not offended at all by people being confused and maybe even upset because we understand that that's also a part of the conversation.
I really loved how you were like happy, open. You were like, please ask us questions. Like you really were so like warm and fuzzy about like, and it's okay. Also, if you do understand and you disagree, like that's also okay. Like you're really giving a space for us to have conversations without emotions. You cannot offend us. Like this is the point. And I really felt like you were like giving
genuine.
Absolutely. The way you answered, I was like, oh, she's good. Like, she's like, there's zero defense. There's zero emotions. There's like, yes, your thoughts are valid. Your thoughts are valid. Let's just have like a conversation about it. I love that. I thought it was amazing.
Oh my God. I really enjoyed my day. So yesterday, you guys, it was my day on Instagram, Ask Me Anything. And so this is just 48 hours after we've announced it. And people definitely, it was fresh in they just like haven't been able to maybe talk it out or understand or whatever. And so definitely it's like that initial emotion. And for some, it's excitement. Some people are very excited. They're like, can't wait to watch. When can we watch this? Others are confused. Others don't care. Others are like, well, that's fun. I don't know why, but cool. So everyone's emotions are different, right? And so we've just seen it all. And as I was doing my Ask Me Anything, it really helped me and Alicia. And I also spoke to the team about how to answer or but like what to say when if someone, if you're in a conversation or if someone makes a comment or whatever, what to answer as to why we're doing this. And so I think team as well was like, yeah, no, like it's getting clearer. And I feel like I really understand what we're doing. And as people are answering these questions, look how the reflections I really went deep, with those comments. And that's why I appreciate them.
I think it was a good idea that we did announce it ahead of time so that we could actually have the questions, see what people are most curious about. I think it's really going to help us to lay out the documentary in a really engaging way.
Absolutely. I thought of that as well because someone had mentioned like maybe like a documentary, usually you just you do it and then you post it and whatever. And I'm like, but we need, like, this helped us so much to be able to create the documentary that we want society to understand what we're doing. So it actually brought content to our documentary for us. And as you said to that person, we show up every day. And so there's no way we could hide this from the people. Like,
no.
And a big part of what we do is bringing people along in our lives. And a big part of our documentary is people's reaction to what we're doing. We've had some good comments too. Like there's one girl,
amazing comments.
like amazing. Like one girl's like, this is your way to, could really change. This could be a big moment for you guys.
I know exactly what comment you're talking about. I want to just to say as well, guys, is that if you don't know, what we're doing is we're
right.
Probably you do, but we are going to be eating Tim Hortons, which is like a fast food chain, but like they do not have a deep fryer at Tim Hortons. They have soups, sandwiches, donuts, muffins, coffee. They're more like a coffee place. Anyways, so we will be eating Tim Hortons and Tim Hortons only for 28 full days.
And so as you're listening to this, you guys, we've started. So as like we're recording, we haven't, but as you're listening to this, we've been like about a week in. And so hopefully you're following our journey on social media. We'll definitely start getting questions from you guys so we can talk a bit about it on the podcast for sure. But that's what we're doing. And, do we want to talk about Super Size Me? Do we want to have that conversation? I like that. Did you end up watching it last night?
I did. I watched the full documentary last night. And then I also was listening on my podcast to some like reviews of what people thought of the documentary.
Okay. So us announcing that we're eating from a restaurant for 30 days, all meals, has definitely brought up the Super Size Me documentary out there. So I think it's very important that we clarify a little bit the differences, and we're definitely going to talk about this in the documentary, but I didn't even expect people to bring that up. Can you believe it? Like, you weren't expecting people to be negative about it. I didn't even think about Super Size Me because in my mind, it is not like, we're definitely not doing the same thing. There's that one tiny piece of us eating from a restaurant for 30 days, but everything else is not. Like, everything else is definitely not even comparable. So that's why for me, I'm like, why would they even say that? But it's everyone's perception. And it brought up that conversation between Alicia and I as well. Okay, so tell us what you thought.
It was a great conversation. Okay, so if you guys have not watched Super Size Me, there was a very famous documentary. It came out in 2004. So the person was the producer as well as the star. Let's say, I forget his name. He's like famous. He's done a lot of documentaries actually. Morgan.
Yeah, I was going to say Marcus, but it's Morgan.
Anyway, so he chose to eat McDonald's for 28 days, everything he had to eat. However, he made the rules for himself were if someone asked him to supersize it, then he would. He had to eat everything off the menu at least once. So those were his rules, okay? So he is followed along by several doctors. He gained about 25 pounds over the month. But he's being followed by like a dietitian at during the process. And she is like, stop drinking pop, stop drinking shakes. Like, he could have gone to McDonald's and ordered, he didn't need to order a double whatever with a ice cream on the side, and he was having shakes and drinks. So on average, he was consuming 5,000 calories a day. So I watched the whole documentary, and it was also talking about the negative effects of obesity, which obviously I'm like, yes, it showed all of these effects. But where I didn't like is they're connecting that to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And
his actions, it's his actions that brought him the 25-pound gain, his choices, not McDonald's. There's a lot there that needs to be, that should have been talked about.
I really did not like that we were making McDonald's the villain in the situation. And it was like, look, they're targeting our children. Look, the sizes are so big. Look, at the end of the day, though, you're the boss. And most people know McDonald's isn't the most nutrient dense option for them.
And also for me, like, I don't play the blame game in my life. And so that's what I don't like about the documentary. It's that there's a blame game, the stank and blame of whatever. And I'm like, that's not how we live our lives, Leash. And when it comes to weight loss, weight gain, and how you feed your children, how you feed yourself, like, there is no, we cannot blame someone else for what we put in our own mouths. And so I think it's very interesting how he was like the first to like bring that up. And I remember watching it, and I remember being like, oh my, like, he almost convinced me how bad, McDonald's was and whatever, like, in that moment. I mean, I was like 16, but he definitely brought conversations to the table, but he was just trying to sell that, that idea. And I mean, there's many other documentaries that do the opposite, and so it's something, but yeah.
The reason why he took on the documentary, what happened was two girls or their parents were suing McDonald's. So only in the States, they were suing McDonald's for being overweight. And the judge ruled that they could not rule in their favor because they hadn't proven that McDonald's caused them to be overweight. So he was like, okay, I'm going to prove it then.
Wow.
So can you imagine?
You could be overweight with going to anything to be overweight in your own kitchen. Wow. Okay. And it's like, so was there, because I was so young and not involved in that moment into this life or in this industry. Like, if that were to come out right now, I would have a lot to say about it. You know what I mean? If something like that were to come out, we'd be like, are you serious? But way back, I wasn't in that industry, and I was very much in the diet industry. So it was certainly a different world.
It was a different world. And what was interesting is it was just at the cusp of nutritional information being available at restaurants. Okay. So, and like him asking people what a calorie is and people not even knowing what a calorie is. So it was a really interesting time in history. Obviously, it's very different now. Mm-hmm. I also heard Jordan Syatt on a podcast talking about Super Size Me and talking about his own documentary, which you guys need to go watch. He eats a Big Mac a day, but he eats other things. So he eats one Big Mac every day and eats other things, creates a calorie deficit, loses, I think, 7 pounds in that month while he's doing that. And that is an awesome documentary. But he said the same thing as us. What? You have a choice. Like he said, like, why are you also getting the fries? He said every single day I was asked if I wanted fries or a Coke with my Big Mac. And I said no, because I'm an adult.
No, he like the Super Size Me, he basically tortured himself. And so we watched this man choose to torture himself by eating 5,000 calories, over 5,000 calories a day, not moving his body. And so it was like, people are like, are you being followed to us? for what we're doing. Follow to do what? Follow, like, so I'm like, do you think that his intention was to torture himself enough to gain a bunch of weight in 30 days? By the end, it was almost disgusting what was happening. He was literally torturing himself. And that was the intention. And our intentions are definitely different. It's not even comparable. Other than the fact that we're eating from a restaurant for 30 days, not even comparable. So let's not even, it's like, I was like shocked that people even brought it up, but I understand the initial thought now, that because it was 30 days, and you guys, I think it was also in February.
It was so interesting. And obviously it's interesting. It brought up conversation. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm going to continue to watch more documentaries to just kind of like see the story that unfolds.
Was he pursued legally in any way by McDonald's?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I was gonna say like, oof. Yeah, no, because he's ultimately saying, like, pursuing them in a false way. What he said, I'm sure he said some things. Did he say some things that were false?
I mean,
probably, like,
no, but I think it would be like slander. I think he got like,
yeah.
He didn't say anything that was false. For me, the whole thing watching it, I was very frustrated by his choice. At the end of the day, you have a choice. You do not also need to choose the ice cream if you're feeling like shit. Why are you taking the double with bacon?
Yeah.
The Coke.
Yeah. He was c'était exagéré. And so that's why I'm like, you literally put yourself through this. And you know what? We've gotten so many good comments about Tim Hortons, and we just want you to know that our intentions in choosing Tim Hortons is not the same intention of him choosing McDonald's. It's actually the opposite. So we want to make sure that message is clear. And I think that I loved that people were like, oh, they have so many good options. It's such a Canadian restaurant. I'm like, yes, okay, these people are getting where we're going with this,
Yeah.
And there's breakfast, there's snacks, and so I don't know, Leash, let's have that conversation. Do you think that this is going to be difficult? Like to like, I'm like, it's a yummy meal plan, honestly. Like, the food there is yummy. And I think most would agree. Everyone has their perception of things or their idea, but it's yummy in your mouth. Whether it's nutrient dense or not, we're going to have that conversation, but it's yummy. It tastes good. We're not forcing ourselves to eat kale, although you like kale, right?
Love kale.
Love it.
Actually love it.
Yeah, so good. In your mouth. But
if I made you a kale salad, you would like it.
Yes, and there's a difference between just eating kale like that or eating a salad with sauce and chicken, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, we've ended up talking 18 minutes about this, and this was just our like little intro. I know that we definitely had a podcast that came out that was like about our project. Anyways, I feel like people, now that we have more, that was before we talked about it. So I'm excited to see how, like, it's fun to talk about the reaction. And honestly, we have been like overwhelmed with support. So that's the end result here for now. People are excited to go and figure out when they'll be able to see it. Editing will be huge. So filming is a month right there. So for sure, all month of February. And then, Paul asked for a few months for editing. So we'll see.
Back to your question. Do you think it'll be difficult? I do not think the act of eating the food itself will be difficult. I think I will feel like I have enough choices and options to be satisfied. But for me, it's not what's on the the Tim Hortons menu. It's going to be what's not on the Tim Hortons menu. So
absolutely. And that's all part of our message. It's all part of, and I was thinking about like, okay, people are confused about that piece versus that piece. I think that, again, I'm like, okay, this is what we'll do in the documentary to really clarify that section. Like, I do think that us announcing what we're doing and being so open to what they have to say. Like, we're not like, this is what we're doing, we don't care what you think. No, like, tell us, because that helps us spread the message even more and to shut the noise. And when you tell us how you think, that's language. And that's your perception. And there's a chance that someone else in society feels that way. So we like to approach those conversations and talk about them and not ignore them. So it's been so good. Like it's, if anything, it's really excited me. Here, did you do this? I did this. This is like what I looked in the menu.
I'm so proud of you.
Are you proud of me? And then I wrote all the things that like, I'm like, oh, I could eat that are interesting to me and that also seem worth it to me. I mean,
Okay.
I would actually eat everything on the menu. I think everything looks delicious. You know how I am, very samp. You want to give me a wrap or a sandwich? I got this, soup, my thing, donuts, perfect, but there are things that I'm like the muffins are so high in calories that I'm like, holy mac, like I could eat 2 donuts for this, Anyways.
So did you look at like maybe what a day would look like? Is that what you did?
Well, so what I did is I first chose everything that I think that is going to be a part of my month. Like I think that it'll be like a mix of all these things.
Okay.
And the ones that I'm like, I like that and I like the nutrition of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I wrote like snacks, breakfast meal-ish, and then sandwich and wraps, and then soup. So kind of like, and then just like what their calories are beside it so that it's easy for me to find what I like and I could have that in my car and maybe be like, oh, this is what I'll eat today. And then I did, I went and I wrote like a scenario of the amount of calories that we're thinking. And I still have like right now, like I said, we haven't started filming, right? There's conversations that I want to have with you today about what we want to do and whatever, when it comes to our goal and our mission, when it comes to calories and weight and whatever.
Yeah.
So, I wrote all of that and I do have an idea, but I'm also like thinking, how am I going to survive? Like I want to survive like my happiness during the month. Like I'm not torturing myself, So I'm like, will I eat at night still? Will there be enough for me to be able to do this and eat at night? Would I eat a donut? What would I eat at 9 p.m.?
Okay.
What would I eat at 9 p.m.? Because I eat at 9 p.m. usually, right? And I don't want to give that up.
See, I don't eat at night, so that's like not a conversation for me. But
exactly. So for me, it's like, how am I going to do that? And what should I eat at night? I also like want to sleep well. So I don't want to like, it does affect if I eat something really late that's like really heavy, So anyways, like how will it affect my sleep? So I don't know. It'll be interesting on how that's the meal plan part. And then there's the just conversation part, like the message behind it. There's like 2 separate things that we're trying to do with why Tim Hortons and why doing this. So I'm excited. to see.
What was I? Oh, you need to download the app. It's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And it shows you super easy nutritional information. It shows you right there. Bam, 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 bam. And then you can put stuff in your favorites.
So someone pointed out, I put this picture that I found on the internet. Just like I put Tim Hortons menu on the internet and the image came up and I used it for my stories. And then the person was like, what are those numbers underneath the food? And I'm like, I'm guessing calories. But then I looked and it was like way low. Like a breakfast sandwich was 125 calories. I'm like, oh, what would those numbers be, Leash? What do you think?
I don't know. I need to see the picture you're talking about.
Here, I'll show you. It'll be quick. You know what? Okay, I need to say something funny and I'm sure she'll be fine me saying her name. Like the bagel belt it says 125 each. No, it's the bagel itself is like 300.
No.
Weird. So it wouldn't be calories. It would be something else. You see?
Yes, I see.
Like the steak and panini, 165. No. So I don't know what those numbers would be and why it's there. Interesting, huh? It says, and she's like, just FYI, like those aren't the real calories if you thought. I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
People are worried. I do not think that a chicken bacon ranch wrap is 100 calories.
No.
No. But anyway, so that'll be interesting. So the app, yes, everyone is like screaming.
Yes. And you can I'm pretty sure you can just put money on it and then you can order it and just scan it. And so it'll be really easy for us to track what we've eaten, how much money we've spent. So
I was talking to someone at the skating rink and that's how I know the message is getting around
out there.
It's it's not someone that's from Your Weight Loss or whatever. And he was like, Tim Hortons for a month. And I'm like, yep. And then I don't know if I should talk about it. I'm like, did you have any questions? I wonder what's their perception. Do they think I'm doing it because I think Tim Hortons is bad? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, what do they think? Anyway, so I didn't say anything. I'm like, yep. And then he's like, what I'm interested in is how much money it's going to cost you. It's
That
very
was
interesting.
Yeah, that was something too that I didn't think about, that people would be interested, and people are like, "Are you worried about how much extra money you're going to spend?"
Right.
So I thought that was interesting as well. That didn't occur to me.
Yeah, same. I didn't really think about it. But it did make a difference because I went to go do a grocery, and I think it's going to be probably one of my last groceries where I'm included in what I'm purchasing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I was like, okay, I have everything for this week, and I have everything for this weekend, so I don't think I'll be going again for me. Like I won't be buying more roasted red pepper dip or more lettuce or more fruit that I'm eating. You know, so it's very interesting, and I got all weird. Like I was like, oh my God, it's my last time buying something, you know? And then anyways, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have to continue buying things for my family, and then like seeing grapes and being like, those look good. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting, Leash.
I know the extra bites will be something for you.
Stop. How am I going to make my kids' lunches without eating half of it?
You're gonna have to put a mask on.
Oh my God, that would be funny.
I mean, it's not the worst idea. Like until like
It's not until it's until I
it's
like
so like you are. It's such a habit for you that you will be like, ah.
I'm gonna have to put a mask on.
Yeah, that's some
Oh
good
my
footage.
God. That's a really good trick. And how sad is that? Part of the message, everyone. How sad would that be? Okay. So someone wrote to me and it was hilarious. She's like, she was talking about Erica, our friend. She's like, oh, Erica crushes the app. She legit robbed Tim's when I was home. Well, I laughed. She robbed Tim's. And then I sent that to Erica. She's like, laughed out loud. She's like, yes, you need the app. She's like, you get $5 off, $10 off. It's the best app ever. She's like, I feel like I was on a coupon show when I was using it. They're so funny, her and her sister. Anyway, she's like, yes, you need to do it. And then she wrote, I love that you're doing this. I can't wait to follow along your journey. So it's really sweet. But yeah, no, I think that people are interested for different things. And I want everyone to know that we're doing all the things. So people are interested in like our weight. Are we, our calorie intake, our
Yep.
portions.
Yep.
People are interested in how much money we're going to be spending.
Yep.
People are interested in, what our goal is. Like, do we want to gain weight? Are we trying to prove that, or our health? People are worried about our skin. People are worried about our energy. You know what I mean? And so it'll be interesting. And also, guys, it's an experiment. It's only 30 days. So, not even 28 days. So I don't think that Alicia will be full of pimples in the next 28 days. I'll just be the same, maybe even more, maybe less. Maybe eating less roasted red pepper dip is going to help my skin.
I mean, who
Who
knows?
knows?
That's why we're doing this experiment, guys. And it is like, I know, and people are concerned about our health, which I appreciate. Thank you so much, everyone. You know what? What's more important is the long term. And we are going into this as very healthy humans, sitting at healthy weights, healthy blood pressure, healthy, you know what I mean?
With healthy intentions.
With healthy intentions. So I'm not concerned about my health. I'm concerned about how I'm going to feel with all the extra sodium.
Right.
I actually had a conversation with a friend of ours who is a doctor and said, I really don't think after 1 month of you doing what you say you're going to do is really going to change your numbers that much.
I agree. I also think that, not having alcohol is going to have positive effects on your health. I do think that. And I think that like, it'll be fun to see. That's just part of the experience. That's part of the Alicia experiment. I think that'll be really fun. And I think that me not eating bites and just like, kind of just like, nah, like I do, like, I think that'll have positive effects in my life as well. Like that experience will allow me to see a different side. Just like you, I don't think you're not going to be drinking after this, but I think it's forcing you to live a different experience. And I think it's good. It's good. It should bring good conversations.
I totally agree. It's forcing me to experience something different. And then I can, at the end of the day, March 1st, I get to decide, who do I want to be? Do I want a little bit of both? Did I enjoy that? You know what I mean? So I'm pumped.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think in both ways, it's going to bring tough parts where we're like, this sucks. And this is the negative side of, you know, following a meal plan and whatever. And then there's the other part of like, well, wait, there's this conversation to be had, because that's also a conversation that people are having in society that no one's talking about. I do think that I think that the people that really know us, like one of our members who like really understands our message is like, I sat there and I thought of it and I was like, holy shit, they're going to have so much to talk about. Like food labeling, and then healthy versus not healthy, and then takeout, and then, you know, weight gain and calorie deficit. I'm like, girl, you're really getting our, you know, there's so much. Like our section of messages in our notes, si tu veux, is actually huge. Paul was even shocked. He's like, so you want all of these things? I'm like, yes, Paul, we have a lot to say. It's not just us. Like, it's not just an entertainment show of us eating and being like, oh, I have a pimple. Like, we're not just talking about that. There's a lot to be said here with this experience. And yeah, us eating it is going to bring up those like more authentic. It's like proof, you know?
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Okay. How many minutes we've been talking?
30. It's good.
Okay, need to get my children off iPads so they can go back on iPads.
Right.
I need to give them a little break. But I do want to say, guys, before we go, is that it's February, okay? January is come and gone. And if you had huge goals, big intentions, 2022 is my year. And if you are listening and it just like hasn't really gone that way for whatever reason.
Like my January crash and burn was my January.
It was a hard month for a lot of people. Omicron, you know, spread across the world, literally.
Yeah.
So we just want you to not feel hopeless. Like, because if 1 month didn't go, it's not over. You know, regroup, recommit, like relook at what you said you wanted in January. It might be time to adjust. Like there might be a reason why you didn't get to the gym 5 times like you said you were going to. There might be a reason why you didn't track your calories like you said you were going to. Relook at that list, reassess, readjust, recommit, reconnect. There is quite literally 11 months ahead still of 2022. Like it is not over.
And that's just 2022. There's a bajillion months left of your life. So let's not even give January more importance than it already has. You know what I mean? More value. Like it's already done its impact. We can now move on from January, everyone.
We can look back, learn some lessons maybe. Yes. And then we leave it there, guys, and we look forward and let's get excited about what's coming. Let's get excited that hopefully it'll be summer before we know it.
Yes. Okay. So follow us everywhere right now. Clearly we're in the middle of our documentary, so we're quite entertaining on the gram and the TikTok and the things. So follow us, and we cannot wait to go on this journey with you. We love you. We appreciate you. Send us any DMs, any questions, and thank you so much for your initial response to our documentary. We love you. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.